The next conversation is about the future of the United Nations itself and everything we talk about, multilateralism. Vision for the Future 2025 is more than a theme. It's a collaborative effort to ask the hard questions and shape the systems that will make the UN stronger, more effective, and more inclusive. It brings together leaders, scholars, technologists, government leaders from health, diplomacy, to imagine what multilateralism will look like and must look like to meet the challenges of tomorrow. To guide us into this dialogue, I'm honored again to introduce Mr. Amir Dossal, who's going to lead this conversation, CEO and President of the Global Partnerships Forum, but also more importantly in the context of this, is a curator of the Vision of the Future initiative, of which I've had the pleasure of submitting some of my work last year at this time. So with that, Amir, please.
Sergio, thank you very much. And Sergio has been the founding partner of this, I have to say. And I'm very grateful. You kicked us off, and you've always been with us in this aspect, giving us guidance, giving us recommendations, and so on. So today, I'm honored to present to you the team, the entire team. Last year, we launched Vision for the Future here, right in this room. And Dr. Ali Mazzara was not with us, so I'm thrilled that she's here with us. I want to give you a 1-minute summary. We came up with the idea of when the UN decided that it needs to engage with what we call non-state actors. And it's quite clear that SDGs cannot be achieved through the help of ODA. It needed private capital. It needed civil society engagement. It needed academia to be part of the process and so on. And some of them are already part of the process, but not all of it. Capital injection has been limited. Every year we calculate how much it costs. We started off with 2.5 trillion. Today it's 4 trillion needed per year, and the funds are not there. And maybe what we need to do is make a better case for the SDGs, that if you invest in the SDGs, you actually can make a better place. So that's, just that little bit is the missing link, and the UN recognizes that. The UN wants to do it right, if you like. So Vision for the Future is really about capturing success stories of people who are doing good, who are making a difference, who are investing in the future of humanity. And I'm really privileged to have the entire team here, and I'm going to start by introducing you. You've seen their names. Ali Mazzara, and we go back many years. We've known her. She's guided us in terms of the work of the UN, work of Global Partnerships Forum. And when we talked about the idea, she immediately said, we want to be part of it, and I want to help you. And we are very grateful for Ali's support and friendship. She, in turn, recruited Dr. Greg Barton, Dean of Global College at LIU. And Greg joined us with gusto. He said, I'm ready to help. And we had a challenge dealing with all the applications. And we also realized that you can have a great product, but if you don't package it right, it doesn't sell. So Greg, in turn, recruited Matthew Barton. And Matthew is the creative guy, actually. So I might be able to put up the link to the website. He's created Vision for the Future. He's brought it to life from what people's stories come in and so on. So we're very grateful, Matthew. Thank you. And to the far end is somebody I kind of vaguely know, actually. He's the only one I know, actually. He's put up with my antics and some crazy ideas, and I'm very grateful that Zecki, our son, has been part of this right from day one. So on that note, I'm going to start by saying, so we have 15 minutes, and I want to make sure that the team gets to say their part as to how they see Vision of the Future, and they see how we can convert this for the good of humanity. So I'd like to start with Greg, if I may, actually. Greg, would you like to share your thoughts about how vision for the future has evolved? And what do you see the future look like?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. And Sergio, to you and your team. This is a great second year in a row to be celebrating this amazing digital anthology. And what is so amazing about the second edition, really, the first one was great. We had a ton of great contributors, but the second one we really honed in on this theme of the ethics surrounding technology use. And as an educator, I get asked all the time, how are you handling AI in the classroom? What are you doing about AI courses? How are you ensuring that students are being ethical in their own actions? And what I love about Vision for the Future, especially this version, is that it is a teaching tool. And it's not just a teaching tool for my students, even though I send it all to them and make sure that they all read it, but it's a teaching tool for all of us. We are at a time right now, and really at a very pivotal point, and as you'll read with these contributors, where AI has the power, yes, to do incredible things, and technology in general has the power to do incredible things, but are we using it for incredible purposes? And also, not just that, are we being conscious of bringing people down because of it? And really, whether it is the environmental impact that AI is having on our world, or whether it is the impact ethically from an equity standpoint that some countries or some people are being kept down because of these capabilities. And when you read through this anthology, you see all these stories of the amazing work that people are doing to level the playing field and to use AI and technology so well. So for me, I think that's what's most exciting about this version is that it's now the answer that I can give to people when they say, what are you doing about AI in your classroom? We have a teaching tool, and it's these stories, and these are just the beginning. We've got 27 contributors, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. The waiting list is just through the roof. We have version 3, 4, and 5 are already mapped out. But as far as kind of the vision for the future moving forward is that I am curious to see, and I'm in a profession where I am trying to nurture future leaders and trying to make sure that they are not only having a plan, but they're also listening to what's around them. And I think that I hope that we can continue to nurture both great leaders who are great listeners, and in turn, great readers of this anthology, because again, we're at a pivotal point, and we need to make sure that especially this generation that's coming up right now is ready, and also that they are ethically sound. So a lot of excitement, and again, thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for all that you've been doing to make this happen.
Thank you, sir.
Ali, you can't escape.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amir, and to the Dossals for your continued support and the amazing things that you do. For me, I would just add on to what Dr. Barton was sharing, the fact that to me, God is a master storyteller. So I think it's in all of our DNA that we love stories. And when you hear stories, you remember them. And so I'd just like to quickly highlight 2 stories that stood out to me that show the diversity of who's in the anthology, but as well as the impact that they're having wherever they are. So one is a person named Ms. Praveen Prasad, who is at the World Bank Global Partnership for Education. She grew up in Fiji with extreme poverty and different issues and challenges to even going to school. But she pursued it. She was passionate about education. And I'm very proud to read about her, saying that she's now the head of innovative and blended finance at the Global Partnership for Education of the World Bank, and oversees $4 billion to bring education to all, equity to all, and so many other important impacts that she's having. But it was her story from a little child in Fiji who's now in Washington, D.C. and Paris, overseeing $4 billion to support this. The other person that I want to highlight is someone very different, a very successful financier, businessman, Tom Milana, and he's done so many major mega deals. But at the age of 48, he went for a checkup and he found out he had prostate cancer. And he was shocked, and his doctor said, you know, men take more care of their cars than they take care of their bodies. And this to him was a wake-up call, but it was also a call to say, how can I do something to change it so other people can have good health? So SDG 3. And so he and his wife and his family, they have 5 lovely daughters, they started called Man Cave Health out of their family foundation, because he felt like if men go to a clinic and there's football games on it or something else, people will maybe be more interested, they'll go. Also, they've now sent up these vans that go to football games, like the Rose Bowl and other things. And they've already raised over $10 million. And I'm sure it's going to be multiplying each year. But he's also running around 10 or 12 different businesses, but this is a passion of his and the big difference that he's making. So for me, stories are a way of us seeing what can be done, and these 2 stories reflect examples of very different but very inspiring people.
Thank you, Ali. And you can imagine listening to these ideas inspires you, and you say, can I do this in my community? Can I do that in my village, my town, my city, and so on, my schools, etc. And you can also imagine that all of these people sitting on the table are visionaries for the future. And I want to invite Matthew Barton, actually. Matthew, as I said, is really a magician. We've been getting submissions at the last moment, left, right, and center, not fully complete. And between Greg and Ali, they've helped us put it together and passed the raw feed to Matthew. And he's converted that into an attractive-looking piece, actually. And I'm in awe, actually. And I want to invite Matthew to share as well.
Well, thank you to the Dossals for having us be a part of this and be a part of the family. I will say, we might have been finishing this very early this morning, so excuse me if I'm looking a little tired up here, but we got it done, and that's the most important thing. But I'll keep my portion brief. But in my career, I've made a career of storytelling, and as we look to the future and we look to the impact of AI and different technologies and how we can better our world, I think the best way is to look at where we've come from. And this is such a collection of such amazing stories and people that have told these stories. And I honestly have the pleasure, my favorite part of this process is by putting everything together, I really get to spend time with each and every submission. And I feel like I learned so much in this process, and I learn about people that I would have never had the pleasure of meeting. And, I feel like they're near and dear to my heart at this point. I've met some in person. I haven't met everyone, but I think there's so much to learn. And I think the structure that Amir and all of us have put together allows for more people to get their stories out there in a really impactful way. I know we're always looking for different ways that we can expand on this, but I just think bringing people together in this forum, bringing different visionaries together in one place, I think needs to be focused on a little bit more as we look to the future. I think there's a lot that we can learn, whether we share different backgrounds or share different industries, we can always learn something. So I really have enjoyed this process. It's been such a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. So.
Thank you, Matthew, and well said, because as you can imagine, each and every person in this room is a visionary. And we haven't had the privilege and honor to engage them, but we hope that with Sergio's permission, the doors will be locked, so he will be able to recruit you for it, for our future edition. We have about just under 6 minutes. I'm going to invite Zecki say a few words, and then we'll try and wrap up so that we're in time for a change. Zecki, please.
Thank you, and really it has been humbling to be part of this journey, to be part of this team, to read the contributors this year, last year. I think what excites me most is the sense of possibility that these contributors bring out. It's a combination of both storytelling and impact. I'll borrow a line from my father. He said, you can have a great product, but if it's not packaged right, nobody's going to buy it. And Matthew really packaged it in an amazing way to draw out these stories, because they're folks from across the globe very accomplished in their own right. In some cases, they're names that you might recognize. In other cases, you might not recognize. But they're doing amazing work. And it's not only about what they've achieved, but to spark new ideas, new partnerships, new forms of collaboration, new ways to scale and share this work, because that's the opportunity. There's some amazing stories that can be replicated and are being replicated, but the more of us that are appreciating it, that are inspired, who realize that when we talk about systems change, that's really the opportunity for this anthology, is to take the work that's being done and magnify it and amplify it. Not only to inspire others to do more, but to find playbooks and models of things that work, because there's so many people doing amazing work across the globe, and oftentimes in silos. So the more that we can prop up and amplify those who are doing this amazing work in their own community, sometimes people don't have the opportunity to be on a world stage, to be able to work on large projects that have big impact, but that community-led initiative, if replicated, can be powerful in solving many, many goals of the SDGs. So real honor to be here, real honor to be part of the team.
Thank you, Zecki, and thank you for always being there 24 hours for me. I want just a couple of things I'd like to mention. I don't know if we have Vin Menon in the room, actually. Vin is a contributor. So Vin Menon is one of our contributors, like Sergio has been a contributor, and I'm very thrilled to have Vin here. You'll be, hopefully during the course of the day, you'll meet others who've been part of this process. We were very fortunate that earlier this year, the United Nations Office of the High Representative for Least Developed Countries, Landlocked Countries, and Small Island Developing States, what is a long-winded name, OHRLS for acronym. They asked us to produce something for the landlocked developing countries. So we are right in the process of now reaching out to governments, not individual contributions, but government contributions to showcase what they are able to do, what they like to do, and be a platform for engagement, for partnerships, and investments. Exactly the topic which Sergio and the Public Foundation has set up for this year. I think I'm ready to give up a bit of time, but not before I acknowledge one other person, actually, who has been a pain for me, is my beloved wife. She makes sure that I am on the right path, and she makes sure that this puppeteer business, when it's not working, the strings are cut off, that I'm doing the right thing, and I'm so grateful to have Taz as my partner. Darling, well, just, so, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In closing, I want to say thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for all the great work you do. This week is going to be exciting. Do one thing. Think of one small way you can make a difference in society. The UN needs you. The UN cannot operate on its own, and the SG, the Deputy SG, and the entire team, the dedicated civil servants, would benefit from your engagement. Thank you very much, and thank you to the team here. Thank you. Thank you.